Hey guys, back with another video. This time, this is another classic from 1973, the one and only Coffy with Pam Grier. It's a vigilante movie. This is the year before Death Wish. After starring in a couple of films from the same director, Jack Hill, was it the Big Dollhouse and The Big Birdcage. This was her third collaboration with this director. And she plays a nurse who goes on a revenge mission after her sister is, made into a junkie. She's hooked on heroin. Her kid sister. And she, of course, anybody would be pissed off about that. She has a friend named Carter who's a policeman. And, she shares her frustrations and her anger about what's going on with the community and all that. And, he tells her that, I'm on a straight and narrow. I'm not corrupt. I'm not on the take. I'm not, I'm not bought by anybody. And shortly after that, while she's visits him at his house, his home is invaded by a couple of dudes who beat him to a pulp, put him in the hospital, and this pisses Coffy off even more. So she goes to see a former druggie who, she convinces her that she's trying to get into the life, as a prostitute, of course. So she, she's working her way to her next target, a pimp named King George. King George, he's played by Robert Doakey, and most people might recognize him as he was either the police captain or police chief in RoboCop years after this. But she meets King George as a Jamaican prostitute. She got that, and she's speaking with the accent and all. And she goes to one of his parties, but one of his other hoes, I can't remember her name right now, but I think her name was Linda. But anyway, she's jealous that, King George brought this new lady to their house or whatever. And Coffy goes to a party, goes to King George's party. I think later that night, she, I guess, what the hell was her name again? I'm bad with names. But anyway, King George's main bitch, she starts a fight with Coffy. She kicks her ass, a couple of other hoes that was there, and then she tries to grab Coffy's hair, and surprise, surprise, she had razor blades in her hair, cut the shit out of her hands. And this mob boss named Vetroni, he sees her and say, "Oh, she is a wild one. I gotta have her right now." But she goes to his home, but she has other ideas. She's there to kill him, actually, but unfortunately, Vetroni, his goons, they overpower her. They restrain her, force them to tell her who sent her there. Oh yeah, she also set up King George by replacing his drug stash with sugar. And she tells Vetroni that it was King George that sent Coffy to kill Vetroni. So And in turn, Vitroni has King George killed. Anybody who's seen this scene, this is messed up. He's literally lynched at the hands of Omar, played by the late Sid Haig. You know, most people might know him as Captain Spaulding from Rob Zombie's trilogy, Firefly trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. But yeah, he's also in this movie. You know, he was younger. But anyway, Omar, Sid Haig's character, puts a rope around George's neck and literally lynches him by attaching him to the axle of his car, the back of his car, and then drags him down the street through a park. And it's brutal. If you've never seen it, spoiler alert, yeah, it's savage. But Coffy's captured, and her boyfriend shows up, Brunswick. I forgot to mention him. She has a boyfriend named Brunswick who's a city councilman, but come to find out, he's working with Vitroni. He's working with the bad guys. You know, bringing dope in. People want dope. Yeah, and he's a facilitator. So, and he orders Coffy to be killed. So they take her out. But she has a few tricks up her sleeve. You know, she tries to, talk her way out of it, try to seduce the Omar and his other henchmen. And they inject her, expecting her to, be dependent on this drug. But surprise, she switched it with sugar. So, and then she takes a piece of wire out of her afro, stabs Omar in his neck, the jugular vein, and she moves on. She carjacks a man's car, and she goes to see Brunswick, and she confronts Brunswick. Hey, you're a dirty bastard, you shouldn't talk about brothers and sisters. I got a sister. He's begging for forgiveness, of course, but she's thinking about it. But before she even makes a decision, there's a white woman that comes out of the bedroom, and she looks at it and just, boom, shoots him in his junk. And she walks away out on the beach into the sunrise. Coffy. And this is another one of my favorites of the 70s. And another reason why I'm reviewing this movie is Pam Grier is our very first action movie hero, female action hero. And she deserves her flowers while she's still with us. But, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it with my review. But yeah, I meant what I said about Pam Grier. She deserves her flowers while she's still among us. And yeah, like, share, subscribe if you like this video. And until my next video, I'll see you then.